Quirky Circuits is 2 to 4 players silently cooperating to guide robots to specific objectives. Plaid Hat Games provided this in exchange for an honest review. In the first scenario, Gizmo needs to clean up all the dust bunnies. The left-hand page explains setup and what happens when Gizmo bumps into obstacles. In this case, Gizmo stops and turns to face left. Each scenario will explain rules as they're added to Gizmo and the 3 other robots. Anyhow, the battery marker and track show how much charge your robots have. A game timer, in other words. Finally, shuffle the scenarios and robots' command cards, then deal a number of cards to each player depending on player count. In the program phase, play cards face down in a line above the game board. Each player must play at least 1 card and at least 5 cards must be played as a group. There's no turn order, so one player could play all their cards at once. I don't recommend this. This is a co-op, but you cannot communicate in any way which cards you're holding, what you or the group should do, or anything really. If you really need to say something, like if you have the 2 cards you need to win the game, the rules allow you to beep like a robot. Beep boop, or whatever works for you. When a card has been played, it cannot be rearranged. How are you supposed to guess what your teammates did? The card backs give a clue by dividing them into types: move, turn, and pick up / drop. Other robots have additional actions of these same types. The reference shows all the cards in a robot's deck. Place your remaining cards face down if you're finished playing and place your hands flat on the table if you think your teammate should stop playing cards. Reveal and resolve cards in order. Move the robot according to the cards, the scenario, and its rules. At the end, collect the played cards, shuffle them, and place them at the bottom of the deck. Deal cards to replenish each player's hand, then move the battery down 1 space on the battery track. If you have not completed the scenario's objective, start a new round. Play until you succeed or the battery reaches 0. Play and predict cards to program the robot's movement to complete their objective. That's Quirky Circuits. Quirky Circuits is played in its book and you only need space to lay out the cards. You do need space for players. I'd say coffee tables for 2 and dining tables for 4. For 3, decide based on your table size. The best player count depends on what you're looking to get out of the game. If you and 1 other person totally click, this game becomes an optimization puzzle. With 2 other people, this turns into a social deduction game. With 3 other people, it's all about putting out fires. Parents or siblings could help read the scenario information, and there's no math. There is the challenge of predicting what has been played based on the card backs and game state, and what couldn't have been played based on the deck information. There are a bunch of symbols, but they're very simple to learn. I agree with the box. By 8 and up, most kids should be able to handle Gizmo stages. Honestly, some experienced gamers could try this at 6. Setup takes longer than takedown, but both are quick thanks to the book being the board. We've played this close to 20 times and our average game is 25 minutes. That's including a bunch of the trickier maps. The battery track helps keep the game's length reasonable. In our 17th game, our friend Dave joined me, Mom, and Dad for Lefty's second scenario, Sushi Carousel. Lefty's programmers had the brilliant idea of moving Lefty on top of the conveyor belt to help with the customers. It was pure chaos. We lost over half our total battery on our first customer. It was disastrous and hilariously fun. I love the fact that you can't talk or communicate during Quirky Circuits. Trying to figure out what cards have been played is tricky and agonizing, but the designer was smart to give players imperfect information. The card backs. It's a simple yet well-designed system. Kids might develop an interest in programming thanks to this game. They'll see how problems can be solved, objects activate based on step-by-step instructions, and that things can quickly go very wrong if misjudged things, yet can sometimes be corrected. Really cool. The minis are mostly good. They are chunky and cute, but Twirl's stand is a little fragile. There's a big problem though. Twirl's and Lefty's hands are too small for the tokens, causing indents and slight damage even after 1 session. I wish this worked better because it's a really neat idea that helps you visualize things, plus it looks better. The publisher has a handful of games that use these scenario books, and I like it. The rules are right there, including special rules and exceptions, and it keeps things tidy. The art is really good, although the dotted lines and barriers can be hard to see on some maps. This is replayable even after you finish the 25 scenarios because it depends on how the cards come out and the players. If you're into that sort of thing, you could also try and beat your level records. Quirky Circuits is a silly programming game designed to run deduction and luck. The best thing about it is how you're eased into the gameplay as new rules and challenges are introduced. If your kids/friends are looking for some light challenge and entertainment, stick with Gizmo. If you're all hardcore players, try Lefty. This is an excellent design and approach. The classic, easy to learn, difficult to master sort of thing. This feels so good when it works and hurts when it doesn't. You're one move away from winning or losing. Your brains are burning, and you all play 10 cards in desperation and end one square away. Or you just spun around and ended up further than where you started. If you're the type of person who laughs when your plans fall apart because of the person next to you, I think you'll love this. If that sort of thing would frustrate you, stay far away from this.